Hi, my name is Gavin Hosniger, and today I will be teaching you about sea urchins and where they live, everything about them. So some fun facts about sea urchins is they use their spines to deter predators because their spines can be poisonous to some animals. Sea urchins are in the same group as sea stars, sea cucumbers, anything of that nature. In South Florida, that is home to one of the most dangerous sea urchins. And sea urchins mostly live in colder offshore waters. Where do sea urchins live? So they live mostly in intertidal and deep ocean regions, but the oceans that they live in are all the oceans: the Atlantic, Pacific, Arctic, and Indian. And then, so the ocean location that they live in, they're found on the continental shelf and slope. It is good for them to live here because there's less predators here to eat them. And it's also good for them to live here because there's good food for the sea urchins, like plankton and stuff like that. So the depth that they live at. So sea urchins, a majority of them live at about 5,000 meters below sea level. And the pressure down there is 500 times that of the pressure at sea level, so the pressure is pretty high. And urchins do not need sunlight to live, and at this depth, there's low transparency, meaning very little light gets down to that depth. And the picture is a picture of how deep the ocean gets and what is at that level. So food that sea urchins eat. Urchins are heterotrophic, meaning they hunt their food and eat it. They do not produce food like plants do with photosynthesis. So they scrape algae with their spines and eat the algae with something called Aristotle's beak, which is basically just the sea urchin's mouth. And then they eat autotrophic species like plankton, which is what the picture is. That is plankton in the picture. So prokaryote versus eukaryote. Prokaryotes are single-celled organisms, and eukaryotes are multi-celled organisms. Sea urchins are eukaryotic organisms, meaning they have multiple cells. So, sea urchin reproduction. Urchins externally fertilize, meaning males release sperm and females release eggs, and if by chance that the sperm and eggs meet outside of the urchin's body, then that is how sea urchins are made. So habitat challenges for sea urchins. Platonic, meaning the animal floats with the current, like plankton. Benthic, meaning the animal lives on or near seafloor. And nekton, meaning they're able to swim or move freely. Urchins are benthic species, meaning they just sit on the floor, they cannot swim or like fish. So salt balance. Osmoconformers, they maintain their salinity with outside conditions, and osmoregulators, they control their salt concentrations despite the outside environment. Urchins are osmoregulators, like the fish right there. That is also an osmoregulator. Temperature regulation. Endothermic, meaning warm-blooded, and ectothermic, they are dependent on external sources of heat. Urchins are ectothermic, like most amphibians. Most amphibians are also ectothermic, although urchins are not an amphibious species. And then next, temperature constant. So there's homeothermic, meaning they have a high constant body temperature, like humans. And then poikilothermic, meaning the body temperature varies depending on the outside temperature. And urchins are homeothermic, like humans. So they maintain their temperature. And then here is my works cited page. Thank you for listening.